Good evening, and welcome to another facetious episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your flaccid and flippant host, Voice of Doom. Hello. It's the wee earlies of the morning, and I just got home from carousing. And I figured I'd do a diatribe now. I don't want to continue on the Black history because I can continue that later. Because I like to do a little research, know what I'm talking about. And I had the idea on the way home that Petri Dish hadn't given his State of the Union speech for his first year in office yet. And it's mid-February, and that's rather strange. And I thought, well, maybe he's waiting for something good to happen before he gets on stage and starts touting himself about how great a job he's doing. So, what I figure I'd do, since I have a day off tomorrow, Super Sunday, I will do a couple diatribes, and the first one will be the State of the Union, according to Petri Dish. And the second one will be the real State of the Union, which Petri Dish has no idea about. And I'm going to wing it. I don't have any notes. I didn't write anything down. I'm just going to try to be a little bit sarcastic. So here's Petri Dish. Dun, 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 dun. Half the chamber is clapping wildly for his accomplishments, and the other half is sitting there going, let's get this over with. It's going to be torture. Petri Dish. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, members of Congress, Supreme Court. I think he remembers that much. I'm going to apprise you on the great strides, the great progress we've made over the last year trying to clean up the mess of the last administration. And I think everyone can all agree that no one's ever done more in their first year of office as president than I have. And I don't think anyone can deny that fact. But I will tell you how great I am and how great I've always been and how good the country is right now. Well, first of all, I found it necessary to get rid of the draconian laws that the last administration had put upon the people by making it much easier to come into this country with anything. And I have managed to come to some agreement with the cartel in Mexico in order to facilitate their transportation of people and drugs into this country. So I'm proud of that. And I think that America is much too homogeneous. I just came up with that word. To be a proper country. So I am trying to bring in diverse people from Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Sudan, Somalia, Cameroon, Brazil, Haiti, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, any other country We need them here for diversity because America is not diverse enough. It's all white, and we need to change that. So I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I am going to do more of it. I am also proud of the fact that we are coming to grips with terrorism because we are basically putting the American people on notice that they better watch their step because the terrorism that we face today has nothing to do with Iraq and has nothing to do with Iran and has nothing to do with any other Middle East jihadists. Terrorism in the country today has to do with parents who think they should be able to say what their kids are being taught, and truckers who think that have had enough of being told what to do and what to get and how to get it. And we are dealing with those terrorists. I have my Justice Department and all the what are they called? Prosecutors that I've appointed and judges to make sure that domestic terrorism is quelled. See that word? I came up with that, quelled. Now, we have gotten rid of certain people, and that's good, but we need to do more. We cannot rest on our laurels of arresting a bunch of protesters who had the audacity to question the sanctity of the American vote in 2020, because I won fair and square, and everyone knows it. And all the people that have registered any complaint have been sequestered, and they will be jailed indefinitely. So we don't have to worry about that. Now, what else have I done that's good? I ended a 20-year war that was just dragging on and on. America had no chance of ever winning, so I decided to pull out. And I did it in a way that was the best way. You pull out all the troops, you leave all the guns and ammunition and all the equipment, and you leave everybody else that helped us to their own devices, because that's just the way it goes. We got our troops out. We are no longer at war. But I do want to say that I don't want you to worry about the military-industrial complex, because I am stoking the flames of another war, and it has nothing to do with America, so don't worry about us getting attacked. So I have made it possible that we can continue our strong economic growth through the production of missiles, bombs, planes, and tanks to send to someone that needs our help. And I do want to assure all you Americans, anyone left in America, that we are going to keep the fire burning. We are not going to allow totalitarian regimes to run roughshod on our NATO allies. So we will be stoking the flames of war. We will be ready to help when the Russians attack Ukraine. Now, many people say that the economy is bad, but I don't think it's ever been better. I think if you look at the data, we are very well off. The economy's never been stronger. The temporary inflation that America is experiencing right now is due to a supply chain problem that occurred during the last administration when they let the COVID crisis get out of hand. We are doing our best to deal with that. We are dealing with COVID very well. COVID is starting to wane, and we are relaxing our mandates. We're relaxing our edicts concerning masks. But that does not mean that everyone can just be free and happy. That's not going to happen, because there's still about 60 million Americans who have not gotten the vaccination yet, and they're going to kill everybody if they don't get it. So we are working hard to make sure that everyone gets vaccinated. We're working hard for therapeutics, and we're working hard for testing, because everybody should be tested at all times. So we're proud of that. We are proud that we are going to not tolerate any union truckers blocking our highways. This is not going to happen in America. We are working with our Canadian brethren to quell, to stomp out, and to squash any ideas that average citizens can have any say in how their lives are run. That's not going to happen. So I can assure everyone in this chamber that I will continue to run roughshod on those terrorists. And they are terrorists. What else have I done that was so good? Well, we've been the most transparent administration in the history of the United States. There is absolutely nothing that hasn't been shared with everyone, and everyone can see what I've done in the past and what I'm doing now. Now, it's not my fault that people don't want to report it. I cannot take responsibility for the negligence of the mainstream media to ignore such things as my family being corrupt. So we aren't corrupt, are we? Because if nobody says it, it ain't there. And everybody knows that. So I will say that we have never been more transparent. There has never been more obvious actions. And we've never hidden anything from anybody. But if nobody reports it, nobody cares about it, then I guess it's all good. So I'm happy about that. I am very happy that my administration has been free of scandal. And my administration is intact. No one has resigned. No one has dissented against what we feel is the proper course of action. So you can say that I'm a success. I'm probably the best president in history. And I will leave it at that. I'm not going to make a long speech. I've told you how great the country is. I've told you how great I am. So I will bid you adieu and say I won't be taking any questions. So good night, America, and thank you. And God bless the troops that will be dying under my watch. Thank you, everybody. The next installment will be the real State of the Union, and that should be interesting. I think you'll enjoy it. Good night.